So I want to talk to you guys about insurance today. It's not about mortgages, not about insurance, but we're going to talk about insurance as it relates to real estate. Quick question. What happens when life happens? I want you guys to imagine one of your clients recently closed on a house, the dream home, and then job loss, illness, or somebody suddenly passes away. This happened to one of my clients back in 2021. We had been working together for about 10 months. She finally found the perfect home, single mother, 2 young sons. 2 days after closing, she got a stroke. So what happens to that house? 40% of foreclosures happen simply because of unexpected loss of income. Most families that we help, we see it all the time. You're helping somebody buy that house and they're scrapping up to come up with that down payment, or they're really pushing that budget to make sure that it fits into the debt to income ratio. Most families are just one emergency away from losing everything. So your job as a realtor is to help clients achieve home ownership. But a mortgage, that's a long-term commitment. And we all know that life happens. You guys asked us to be here and you said clients have been asking for this for a reason. And we all know that if a spouse passes, become disabled, the mortgage still has to be paid. And without a plan, they're probably going to lose everything. And most importantly, we know that losing a home doesn't just mean losing that property. That means that family's going to be displaced, probably going to get their credit destroyed. They're going to go through some financial hardship and a lot of emotional trauma that comes along with that. So not only are you losing a loved one or losing the ability to actually earn, but you're also experiencing the financial trauma along with it. But the reason we're here is because there's a simple solution: mortgage protection insurance. Mortgage protection insurance ensures that whenever life happens, the house can stay. Regardless of what else is going on, the house can be there. And it also provides that financial safety net for whenever the clients need it the most. I want you to think about this and explain it to your clients like a seatbelt. A seatbelt, I remember being a kid and nobody wanted to wear the seatbelt. And then they started putting the things in there that made it ding all the time to where it got so annoying that you had to put it on. The reality is nobody really wants to have that seatbelt on. It's kind of uncomfortable. It cuts at your shoulder, it cuts off, it wrinkles up your shirt and your pants and everything. But if you ever need it, you were glad that it's there. We want to think about this mortgage protection insurance the same way. Nobody really wants to have it. But if we ever need it, we'll be glad that it's actually there. First thing that it can do is mortgage protection can literally pay off the entire mortgage in the event of someone passing away unexpectedly or having a critical illness or disability, right? There's a couple of different criteria that we can go through on the details on, but those are the 3 big ways that it actually can pay the mortgage off. Or you can set it up to actually receive monthly payments. Let's say that you really don't trust yourself with that big lump sum of money, but you would trust yourself a little bit more if you got a monthly payment every single month for the next 30, 40 years to be able to make sure that's paid off. You can do it that way as well. And the best thing about it is there's no complicated process. There's no medical tests, all of those things. It's just easy, a few questions, and then we can get the process get it issued usually the same day. So why does this matter to you guys as realtors? The biggest thing is more deals closed. So I want you guys to raise your hand if you've ever experienced this. You have a conversation with a client. You start helping them with their credit. You start talking to them ways about down payment assistance. You go through a couple of job changes with them. And 3 years later, they still hadn't bought a house. Anybody else? Just me? That only happened to me? Right? What's the real reason they're not buying that house?
Money.
It's the uncertainty. It's the uncertainty. It's the fear of, if I do this, what if I lose it all? What if I can't do this? So our job is to be able to provide that assurance, that security of knowing that it's possible.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about.
What's that?
We were doing scripts and the mortgage protection.
Yeah, the uncertainties of what's going on now our big focus.
Absolutely.
What we're saying. And the question was asked by Felicia. Well, we were doing role playing, and we were just like, what if we close on this house and then I lose my house? Lose my job, and whatever.
Exactly.
What do we do?
What do we do in that situation? How am I protected in an event like that?
Yeah.
And so those are the questions that We trust that you guys can leave up to us to be able to answer for them. Your clients trust you the most whenever you provide value outside of that sale. Think about, you're helping them with the sale process, but you're also talking to them about home warranty. You're probably introducing them to the person that's going to clean their house. I know my realtor introduced me to the person that actually does our lawn, and he came and did it yesterday, and I was absolutely elated to actually be able to see my backyard again after the summer, after the winter. So referrals skyrocket when they be able to build that trust and you show that you care outside of just that sale. So what's the cost of no coverage? We're going to go through this again, and you guys kind of already know, but a young couple purchases a home. And I want you to think back to your first couple, the first couple that you sold that bought that home together, and the smiles on their face and the excitement. You're taking those pictures and everybody's tagging everybody on Facebook. That wife probably can't afford to keep the house by herself. And it's only been a year. So it's probably not enough equity to actually sell it and actually be able to make any money on it. That's what this is for. Those are the people that we're thinking about whenever we're having these conversations, because the reality is this happens every single day. It's not an isolated event. We can prevent it. We have one goal. Our goal is for every single real estate transaction to have mortgage protection attached to it. You got a question?
I think this is quite premature.
Mm-hmm.
We have clients that are already in their homes. Mm-hmm. Is this something you can introduce to them?
This is definitely something you can introduce to them. Okay. So we ask that ideally we talk to clients while they're in the shopping phase, right? It's just like what I always said when I was a loan officer was I want to talk to the client before they go see a house, because there's nothing worse than a client falling in love with a house and then you try to do the numbers and the numbers simply don't work, right? Because they're probably not buying anything at that point. It's the same thing with those clients that are on the fence, that are having that emotional what if scenario, and they're never going to actually take that step because they're afraid that if something happens, not if, when something happens, I don't want to lose my home. I don't want to leave my family in that situation. What am I supposed to do? And so they just do nothing. So the earlier we can have that conversation with them and reassure them, the better. But if they've already closed, they're already in a home, we love the opportunity to have the conversation, because as they say, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The next best time is today. So we can start that immediately. Realistically, your job is about not just selling homes. It's about securing dreams. Our job is to make sure that we're working together to ensure that those dreams are never lost.